Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I am so excited about the guests that we got on the show today. I'm excited. Got an international guest, and we're gonna tell you a little bit about her in a few minutes. But I cannot start a show without bringing my executive producer and co-host, Dr. Michelle Denise Cooley. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You thought I was going to announce the name backwards again.
Uh-uh.
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. I am so excited about this guest that we got on the show today. And I'm just looking forward to chatting with her, talking about the great countries, Africa, and a lot of things that she is doing, and about a little bit about her childhood and all these other great things. And it's just an absolute pleasure having her on the show. And we're going to introduce her in a minute. But I also want to bring someone else on. We got Dr. Hall. Dr. Hall there. He's going to be
greetings. Good morning. Good morning.
He's going to be co-hosting the show with us today. And I'm excited, Doc. I hope you're just as excited as I am about this.
Absolutely. Phenomenal guest. I think it's going to be a great show. And looking forward to getting started.
Absolutely. And one other, Clem, Clem Net. How you doing today, sir?
Clem, take yourself off the mute.
He's on mute.
I am doing outstanding, and I'm looking so forward to attending with this great panel you have today also.
Well, I tell you what, Michelle, I can't even take it anymore. And I tell you, our viewers out there, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to your comments and ask these great guests that we'll get ready to introduce you to any question that you want to, or ask anybody on the panel any question you want to. Remember, it's your life. Michelle, let's talk about this great guest. First of all, can you tell our viewers and our listeners what's the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest to our listening audience?
Yes, the title of the show is called Childhood in Africa, and we're getting to know the background of entrepreneur, humanitarian, leader, and founder of Jill Development Consultancy Limited, Ambassador Olivia Mirembe Musisi. I hope I pronounced your name right. Sorry if I butchered it. And we're going to talk about the topics of, her childhood, child development, childbirth, growth, in her upbringing. And we're going to also talk about her work, which includes identifying investment opportunities and finance for African countries, organizing summits for leaders and investors, and fostering partnerships between African countries. So let's tell you a little bit about our guest today. Madam Ambassador Olivia Mirembe Musisi is a leader, savvy, and skilled professional entrepreneur with over 10 years of comprehensive investment expertise. She is from Uganda and works from London, where she lives with her family. She has attained a wealth of experience in diplomacy work, entrepreneurship, leadership, investment, business development, and volunteer work. She is equally an extensive track record of working with multi-stakeholders and cross-sector groups at international, national, local, and organizational levels. She's an alumni of a CSC Commonwealth Leadership Program 2016, run by Common Purpose UK. She has founded again and successfully managed private companies in addition to supporting several charities in Europe and Africa. She has assisted some African countries with their fundraising efforts for their development projects, and she supported several leadership entrepreneurship projects in Africa. Please join and welcome to the James Cooley Show is Your Life, Ambassador Olivia Mirembe Musisi. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
Wow. So for some reason, her camera is not showing up right at the time. And I think we're taking our internet hit, so just bear with us for a minute or so. And there she is. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I think that we taking hits right now on the camera, on the show, and that's unfortunate that we're doing that. But I want to mention something that Michelle did not mention. The ambassador is ambassador at large for 20
No, we're
I believe that we took a technical hit here. They have an internet problem because Texas right now, there's snow and a lot of different things that are here, that's happening right now. But I said I wanted to mention something to our viewers that Ambassador Olivia is not just ambassador, she's the ambassador of 26 countries, and also the ambassador of the country of Liberland, brand new country just created. And welcome to the show, madam. How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
It's absolute pleasure having you here on this show, and now our viewers and our listeners. Actually, we already getting comments coming in already. To get a chance to know you, get a chance to know history about Africa and some of the things that the great country of Africa is doing. So I'm so excited. I'm excited about this. So first of all, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you? And some of the things that you're doing, some of the great things, because you're doing so many that you're doing. And I think we're going to get started with that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Called Mrs. Olivia Mirembe Musisi. We have 3 children, Gavin, David, and Daniel. I'm Ugandan by origin, and I live in London. The ambassador, the Liberland ambassador to Africa, advise Liberland, which is a fairly new country in Europe, on Africa affairs. I'm also the Oxygen ambassador for Africa, and I'm also the director for Jill Development Consultancy, which is a private company that is in the United Kingdom, through which we work as consultants, a team, to link business, investment, and trade opportunities to Africa. And I'm very happy to be on this show.
Yes, Ambassador, well, welcome, and thank you so much for sharing. I know you're dealing with, your voice and everything, and as you're healing, so, but you sound wonderful, so it sounds great. And relax a little bit. I know that this is pressure. You're going to do just fine, and I just think that there's so much that you have to offer for our listening audience, and but sharing some of the things that you do. Tell us a little bit like what it was like for you growing up in Uganda.
Well, yeah, Uganda is a beautiful country, and I'm grateful to the Almighty God that I was born and raised in Uganda. Normally, I say that the mystery of God is that God Almighty is that children do not choose their parents, children do not choose the geographical locations where they will be born, and children do not choose the color of their skin or the cultures where they will be born. I was born in Uganda. It's a beautiful country. It's a green, tropical climate or weather. We have fresh citrus fruits, the mangoes, the pineapple. Oh my goodness, they are delicious. The biggest I've seen and most juicy.
Yeah.
We've got a wide range of foods. We have a lot of game, both domestic animals and wild. We've got hills, beautiful and good land, lovely people. And I was born, come from the eastern part of Uganda, married to David Musisi, who is from the central part of Uganda.
Nice.
It's,
Great.
Yeah. So what is it like? Okay, you living in London and having to go to all of these countries like every other week. I mean, you got to pick one of them out. So first of all, how is it living in London?
How is it living in London? It's beautiful in a way. It's a privilege in another way, but it's also challenging. You have to almost say sleep with your one eye open, meaning you have to be up and up because the cost of living is very high. The brain power is high. Everything is high, higher than Africa. So you've got to catch up and and be there. But it's a very very beautiful country. I mean, the United Kingdom gives us real understanding of civilization from the perspective of Africa. Traveling around, due to my role as the ambassador of Liberland to Africa, I've got three main tasks, which is to initiate conversations with the governments of Africa about the Liberland and about the African countries. Then explore business, investment, and trade opportunities for Liberland in Africa and for those African countries in Liberland. It's vice versa, give and take. And the last one is to um, lobby for the presence or partnerships to be formed between Liberland and these countries, and of course, then have a presence there, whether in form of having representatives or companies or NGOs or whatever the form of partnership that is agreed by the governments. Yes, that is then established. And so through this work, I get to travel to quite a few African countries because Liberland was, when I joined in 2017, that's when I was appointed. It was one man's vision, and they're taking the Singapore model. And it was by then, of course, a dream, which became virtual, but now it's a real thing. It's got a government and everything, and so many people apply for citizenship, and it's active. The Liberland community is very big because you become either e-citizen or you apply for nationalization, whatever, from wherever you are. So, but Liberland will be built from that perspective, and this keeps me moving because I've got to coordinate the Africa representatives. I've got to help them understand the bigger vision, and I've got to help them to appreciate their own countries versus Liberland and how to merge all this dream together. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. You know what? I can't wait. We're gonna take a station break, but I can't wait, Doc. I can't wait to get back to finish up on exploring the Liberland thing, and then go off into a multitude of other questions. So, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments wherever you're watching that. If you're watching on E360 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching it at, just become part of the conversation. You can ask this great ambassador any question you want to. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back shortly.
Drawn to you. Just like
Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Lasting Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we got the ambassador Olivia here. I'm telling you, and then I see she calmed down a little bit, and yeah, just educating us on a lot of things, African and the jobs that the many hats that she wears, and but so we're gonna get back off into that. But I want to ask you, what was childhood like? Growing up in Africa and preparing you for the challenges that you have today, wearing all these hats. So can you tell our viewers a little bit about your childhood?
Yeah, so thank you. This takes me back to a few years. I was born in a family of a reverend. My father is Reverend Patrick Osire, and my mother is Lydia. And I was born in the Osire family. It's a big family. We had professors. We have one of them is a engineer in University of Texas, and the other one is an engineer in University of Indianapolis. So the environment where I grew up was in where child there was a very nice tactful way of mentoring, coaching, and empowering children. And one of the ways that they did it was through the day-to-day life, day-to-day activities that we did at home. For example, if you are in nursery school, primary school, you never ate on the dining table. And then when you are in university, then you eat on the dining. So, but we had different dining rooms. It's just that the one for the university students was posher. And that was my dream. I said I must make it to university no matter what. It was so beautiful. It was like something different. But all that talking, I had many friends, and some of these friends were not as privileged as I was, because in Africa, life can be challenging, it can be interesting. But all these challenges and the interest help to empower a child to become somebody. So while I was able to have this kind of family, because my grandfather was a civil servant, he was a reverend, but before then he was a minister of education in Uganda. And so we had, the cutlery, the things we had were a little bit different. He lived in England for many years before he went back to be appointed as the Minister of Education. That was Emmanuel Oside. But within that, we had a neighborhood surrounded by poverty, where I had friends we went to school with, same class, everything. They were born in families where they lived in, for example, grass thatched houses. They didn't have comfortable beddings, they didn't have clothing. They shared rooms with animals, goat or chicken and so on. And it was quite a challenge. So looking at these children and their backgrounds, they hardly got good food, and maybe the mother and the father are farmers. The mother is a full-time housewife. The mothers had to go and get firewood from, fetch firewood from the forest, go and dig in the morning, get water just to make a meal. look for vegetables or something and try and grind millet and so on and grow bananas. So it was a lot of hassle to get one meal on the plate, leave alone for husband and wife, but for children. And in the African setting, the husband is a king in his family, or a chief, if you like. So if let's say they have meat or chickens or whatever, which was reared a year in advance, and by the time they have that chicken or that meat, maybe it's a special occasion. So those were very, very difficult situations for my friends who are children around me whom I grew up with, but they gave me a lot of big inspiration in terms of appreciating what we had as a family, but also what they did not have. And that allowed me to understand that if a child goes to school, I think life becomes better. If they go abroad, it's even best. So these children we went to school with, they never had shoes, never had proper clothing, no uniforms, or they couldn't afford. They walked 4 kilometers one way to school, could not afford school fees, and there were all kind of challenges. But their parents were proud of them. One thing they had for sure was a home. They had an identity. That grass thatched house where the father, who is a farmer, will dig from morning to maybe 2 the afternoon, come home, eat, and then go to the trading center just to try and see whether there will be an opportunity to bring something home. So at the end of the day, they came back to a home. No electricity, no running water, no flush toilets, no, no cement or anything, but they had a bond. The husband and wife and the children had a bond. And that bonding gave these children identity. No matter what you told these children, they knew that was their father, that was their mother, and that was their roots. And they were
Yes.
so proud to be members of these villages. And sorry, I don't know if I've gone overboard.
No, well, we appreciate everything you've given us a eye opener, and like yourself, I mean, I've been as a former ambassador in Uganda, fell in love with the hearts of the people. So I just appreciate you sharing the stories because it gives us a visual, and more importantly, how God has taken you in these humble beginnings to now, I know a little bit more about you, and your many hats that you wear, Her Royal Highness. We understand that for you to have those type of experiences growing up and to be where you are is nothing short of God's grace upon your life, being able to affect change. And now you're here to share that you're fostering relationships around the world, and to make a better place with different stakeholders, with other nations of the continent of Africa. So we appreciate all the things that you're doing. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about, you said Liberland, and I know most people, since it's a new country, don't even know where it's at. So maybe you can share a little bit about where it's at and between things, and how did this opportunity happen for you?
Yeah, first of all, to start with, um, I was contacted by the ambassador of Congo, Brazzaville, to the and I was given a contract to help through the Jill Development Consultancy Company, the private company running in the United Kingdom. And I was supposed to help fundraise for the Ministry of Agriculture not in the Congo Brazzaville. So we had to go to Paris, and I had to do a presentation on how I was going to help turn around the story of agriculture in the Congo Brazzaville, because Congo Brazzaville, they have a lot of oil, crude. So when you try to farm to grow crops, dig down the soil, you'll find either oil or something else valuable. And so government kind of made it that they have to allocate specific areas for farming, but because the oil is readily available, the mindsets of the people is that they don't really have to dig, wait for 3 months to get beans. They can as well go down, drill oil, sell it, and get bread, beans, designer clothes, and whatever. That's how we have the Sapa in Congo Brazzaville. So we were going by road, driving from London to Paris. And when we got to the crossing, we had to use the train through the tunnel. And in that train, I think we drive quite a long, about an hour or so, and 2 hours, I think. And the ambassador shared a flyer. It was the brochure of Liberland. And he told me, with all the things you do, um, that is Ambassador uh, uh, Jean Omer Mpeo. So he told me that, Olivia, with all the things you do, you can become either consul, vice consul, or ambassador.
I think we might have took a hit again. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, so he
Yes,
said,
I hear you. You're fighting
yeah,
to.
yeah. So he encouraged me that I can become either consul, vice consular, or an ambassador. And I was thinking, what do you mean by that? I don't have an experience. I've not been a politician or anything. So he said, take this time, read through that brochure. So I read through. I flipped. In fact, I couldn't read it because all these people were top, top people, and I'm thinking, how can I fit in this kind of thing? So he told me, forget what you're seeing there. That's a glossy magazine. You're going to see these people face to face, and you will be among them. I said, that's a dream far. So anyway, we got to Paris. I did the presentation, and I won the contract to do that. So I took investors to Congo Brazzaville. But on our way back, he pushed me and said, can you please send an email to the foreign minister? I said, but what am I going to tell the foreign minister? I don't have experience, you see. I'm only somebody who runs a company, and my background, I'm coming from voluntary sector, the third sector in the UK. So I don't know, So anyway, he said, can you please type? I typed the message, and he said, copy to him. He was driving. So I typed and sent it, and I copied him. 2 weeks later, the foreign minister of Lebanon invited me. I was contacted by, I got a response, and I was asked to contact Dr. Tariq Abbas, that is Lord Tariq Abbas in London. They made things worse. So I said, now, from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I now have to face a whole Lord who sits in House of Lords. Can you imagine? What can I even? So I just sent an email. I said, let me not disappoint the Honorable who responded. Let me just send this message. And Lord Tariq then sent an invitation for an interview. And the venue was supposed to be the House of Lords, one of the rooms in the House of Lords. And that alone kept me awake. How do I get the House of Lords? Then the tension of going to House of Lords, and then the tension of doing a presentation to all these people I've seen. They are powerful people, their bios, everything. So, we were told we were 30 people, candidates. All these people wanted to be representatives of the Liberland. The president of Liberland was going to be there, and other cabinet. So anyway, the day came, and I kept disturbing the ambassador. I said, you started this, you must help me to the end. Help me with my presentation, help me with this. So he said, don't worry, me, I trust you. Olivia, be yourself. Don't worry about anything. So at that time, we had just finished the CSC leadership program, the Commonwealth program, which was sponsored by the Duke of Edinburgh, and that was 2016. So we had it in London, then we went to Scotland, and then we went to Singapore, and it was such a big eye opener. This is where they bring world leaders, top executive world leaders from countries, and they put them together in one room, and they have to brainstorm.
Ambassador, I want you to hold that thought. They bring world leaders and they put them all in the room in the country. We're gonna take a station break, but I want to pick it up when we get back from the break. But I tell you, this is so exciting. This is so wonderful. And if you want to be part of the conversation, like a lot of other folks are sending comments in, all you do is whatever you're watching this out, just go to the comments section. I see we got folks from Africa, UK, Boston. We got them all over, but keep them coming because it's your life. And we'll be back with the ambassadors shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I tell you, just listening to the ambassador, just talk about some of the things, talk about the cabinet, talk about how she was kind of like coached into things because somebody always saw the dreams in you and they saw the potential in you. And they just help you bring it out. And when you brought it out, it's just rushing out. And so, hey, Clem, I'm gonna get to you shortly. But if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask the great ambassador any question you want to, and you see you're gonna get it. Ambassador, I want to pick it up from these leaders in this room in the House of Lords. Didn't mean to cut you off, but we had to take a station break. Yeah, so let's pick it up from there.
Yes, so I was just from the CSC program, and the day they came, we went for the meeting, and the ambassador came along, and he said, "I'll be right there beside you. Don't worry, don't fear. You are a strong African woman." So we got in there, and everybody had about 10 minutes to do a presentation of how and what value you can add to Liberland. As you know, Liberland is a small country, and so they want to take on people who will help build a bigger vision. And all these guys did powerful presentations, and they had 3 dimensions. They were using all these PowerPoints and everything. How? So my heart was just racing. But the way we were seated, first of all, just entering the room and seeing the president, the vice president, Lord Tariq inviting us, having tea, it was just humbling. And I remember, I think for about 10 minutes, I was just praying. I said, God, what is this? I mean, is this how you're God? Is this how we shall be when we get to heaven? We are truly going to dine with our Lord Jesus Christ like this. So I couldn't believe that I was seeing these people in the brochure live. Anyway, the presentations were breathtaking. They were so powerful. We had students from Oxford University, Cambridge, and all walks, directions, and they did powerful presentations. And some other people who are very experienced in leadership. So I was just asking and pinching the honorable, the ambassador. I said, "Are you sure we're in the right place?" And he said, "Don't worry, your turn is coming. Be yourself. Say it in your African way as you feel." So just okay, I just have to turn on my, my switch because the battery is running low. Anyway, if you don't mind 1 minute, let me just switch on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doctor,
No
I
bad.
think the viewers need to understand how big this really is, because when we talking Lord Tariq and all that stuff may not make sense to many people, but Miss Olivia is talking about Lord Tariq, to where this gentleman worked with Queen Elizabeth, King Charles, so to give the magnitude, to the viewers so they know. But finish, Miss Olivia. I'm
But
sorry.
he's also the
Thank you.
Secretary of State
Liberland,
of
yes.
Liberland. So that's how big it is.
Right.
Hey, hey, Ambassador, come on, keep telling us, keep feeding us this.
Okay, so anyway, the presentation went on and my turn came. And so they gave me 10 minutes. So Ambassador helped me and started, introduced me just to help my nerves, calm down. So I didn't really have any slides. I didn't even have the computer, but I just spoke. And I started speaking for about 5 minutes. And the president and the vice president and I think minister of finance, whoever, about 5 people stood up. So I I was worried. I didn't know why they stood up. So they started clapping. And I looked at the ambassador. I said, "Have I made a mistake?" He said, "No, just listen." So I kept quiet because I couldn't talk when these people are standing up. And they just said, "Olivia, you, you may not continue. We are extremely impressed with what you just said in the first 5 minutes." I was like, and at that time, I was simply asking them that, can I represent Liberland in Uganda? You know, so um, they then extended an invitation for dinner, but I couldn't believe that what I just said in 5 minutes made such. What did I say? I couldn't even remember what I'd said, but that didn't matter. We then went to Dr. Tarek's home for dinner, and it was just humble. To me, it was humility. I've never seen that kind of humility. But so, I mean, anyway, so after that, after 3 weeks, I received a letter in the post, and I opened the letter. So when I got home, I asked my husband, I said, we share a similar background. So I asked him, "Do you believe I went to the House of Lords and I talked for 5 minutes? These people say I should stop talking. If I don't give a me more chance, maybe." So he said, "You don't know what their conclusions are. And if they stood up and clapped, it's a good thing. So you wait." When the letter, when I got the envelope, I feared to open. So I gave it to him. I said, "You open it because if they reject me, I'll feel bad because they didn't finish my minutes." So he opened and he said, guess what? You're not just representing Uganda. I said, what are you saying? He said, read for yourself. You are going to advise them on Africa affairs. I said, no. I need to call Dr. Tarek so that he clarifies this. No, maybe there's a mistake. So I called him and started laughing. And he told me, no, come with the ambassador and I will explain to you letter by letter. So we went to Dr. Tarek, and lo and behold, he explained everything. When I listened to the roles and responsibilities, I kept asking, is it me or was there a mistaken identity? He said, no, this is you. This is how much we believe in you. This is what we see in you. So I said, God has me in the palm of his hand.
Mm.
What my heart has never conceived, my mind has never thought of, what my ears have never heard, even in my upbringing, nobody ever told me I would be. I had only one auntie called Margaret Okello, Mrs. Margaret Okello. She was married to our uncle who worked for the UN, Uncle Moses Okello. And they lived in Geneva, in France, border of Geneva. And she was far, the respect we gave her, I don't know. When she's coming, we are running up and down and everything. So I said, how can I? It was just, but God, the prayers that we pray are so small, so selfish, so timid, but God has big, big stuff for us that we have no idea. So it humbled me greatly. And so it took me back, and I asked myself, with this appointment, I can share with you that appointment later. With this appointment later, what do I have to offer Africa? How can I help Africa? If God could lead these 30 people and I'm meant to be bigger than what I asked for, this is the voice of God. What is He telling me to do in Africa? This is a big assignment. Then I ask myself, if I go back to God today, what answers am I going to give? What did I do with this talent that He has trusted me with? The virgins, He trusted them with talents. But what am I going to do? My husband said, no, this is too big. Just bury it, keep the envelope here. When they call you, tell them you're still thinking. Because by the time you start this, how shall we manage? So I shared with my sister. I said that, look at this one. I shared with Uncle Moses, that one who works with the UN. He said, is it you, Olivia? I said, Uncle, even me, I can't spell my name there. So then the ambassador came to visit us at home. Say, congratulations, Your Excellency. I said, what did you say? Please don't start. So it took me time to wear what I mean by wear that gown, to really understand the responsibility that I had to do. For me, it is a divine assignment.
Yes.
It's a divine appointment, and I have to respond. All these children with no water, schools with no books, homes with no power, widows who have lost their livelihood, their husbands are their breadwinners. They have no hope, nowhere to turn to. So all these voices that are crying to God, how can I respond to this? So that has been
Hold
the challenge.
that thought. Hold that thought. This is too good to cut this off right there. But I got to take a station break. I had to, but we're gonna come back. Hold that thought. So I tell you, if you watch wherever you're watching this at, you're probably looking at your TV or everything just like I am. Like, because this is so fantastic.
Doc, we're going to have to do a second show for sure.
We got to. That's mandatory. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back, and the great ambassador is going to continue to give us the visuals and tell us all of this great stuff that she's doing, because it is great. Remember, it's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after this short break right here.
fight again. And if you want my opinion, I let it take me away. Only relief is the four on the floor and the crowd that goes, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, oh, turn it up, turn it up.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you that this is so amazing. Just chatting with the ambassador, and just the way that she's telling her story, and it takes us. You can visualize it. You can visualize what she's saying, and it's so wonderful. And it's just not knowing, what God plans are for you. But as you are coaching, as you mature, as you are seasoned, as wisdom come to you, God plan is spelled out, and especially in this case, so it's amazing. This is absolutely wonderful. Dr. E, you're right. We got to have another show, because we only got 8 minutes left in this one. We got to have another show. We have to get the ambassador back on as well. So if you want to be part of the conversation, keep sending the comments in. Hey, Clement, I know you got a couple of questions for the ambassador, and so you up, my friend.
How you doing, Ambassador? I'm just enjoying the conversation. I know we only have a few minutes, but I'm listening to your family story, and I'm thinking to myself, I should have been there. I should have been Cousin Clem. I think I've been robbed, because although that's poor to you, to me, that is rich, and that's a piece of my life that I probably missed out on. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And Ambassador, I'm looking at the agriculture piece of what you're doing in your ambassadorship. And I'm also looking in my life in the grocery store. And I see everybody else's tomatoes from Italy, from France. I see everybody's wine from all over the place. But I don't see my African products. When I look on TV and I go to the food channel and I see food, I don't see my African cuisine. Can in the last couple of seconds, can you give me a for instance of an African dish that I could look forward to, and maybe an African vegetable that we don't have here, or something we have here but's better grown in Africa?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So in, for example, in Uganda, where I come from, I think Uganda has one of the biggest variety of foods in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a wide range of grains. We have a wide range of animals. We have, grains from millet, sorghum, maize, all this cassava and so on. Then we have fruits, wide range, vegetables, wide range. We have both fresh, organic, and dried stuff. So one of the dishes that is common in Africa is matoke. These are green bananas
Ah,
that
Ambassador,
we get.
can I cut you off for a second? Because I gotta share what my dishes in Uganda, right?
Yes,
So I have a rack of lamb, right?
oh
yes,
With matoke, all right, which is like
uh,
a green banana she's playing with bean sauce, with
yes,
chapate, right?
yeah,
And sukuma wiki, the
yes,
greens. So,
yes,
you know, all these things are man. And so I ate that every night for about 2 weeks straight. You know, it's so filling, it's light, but it's greens. The sukuma wiki is greens, as we would have it
yes,
here in the States, is mixed greens. And the matoke is like a banana, like a it's not even like a banana. When you eat it, they eat it like a mashed potato. So, but I'm sorry, I just couldn't help but getting that in there because I love their rice and matoke, all that good stuff.
yes. So we have a lot of fish, catfish, Nile perch, tilapia, and these are cooked both as stew, sauce, and fried or grilled on the charcoal, and that's the best. Then we have the range of bananas. We have plantain, sweet bananas. We have the long ban, all kinds of. Then we have the avocados. Oh my goodness, they're the best. Then we have Uganda. I don't know which dish I've just. We have rice, but rice in Uganda is more of a second food. It's not taken as the main dish kind of thing.
mhm.
So either matoke comes first, millets, something like that, what we call kalo, and then other things like potato. So we never have one type of food on the plate. We always have matoke, maybe something else, potato and something, and then served with either meat. It could be fish, chicken, goat, or cow, whatever. And then you have the vegetables as sides. And so it's so much food in Uganda
Yes, yes.
that your taste is your choice.
Dr.
Whether you,
Ambassador, can I jump in? I think for the sake of time, we definitely gotta have a second show. But I want everybody to understand that, the what African Link and the ambassador is doing right now is really setting the stage for helping her with the challenges of bringing stakeholders and things there. And we're starting in the country of Malawi. There's a signed treaty in place that we have as we're forging the things that we're doing with them. And the ambassador is needing, a great deal of help with the brain trust and establishing some ground roots. So we're focusing on hydroponics and agriculture with our center of excellence. And the big broadness, just to share with you, just so people can know, just one country, we're talking about what her role with many countries in Africa. Just one country spends about $400 million in rice, since we're talking about rice. So it's 55 nations there, but just to hear the numbers, we always hear, and the narrative that we're changing is that shift of the mindset, because we always hear poor Africa. But one country, Guinea, as we talk offline, is spending $400 million in importing and rice. So, in her responsibility with all these other countries, it's billions of dollars in the rice category that gets spent. And these are the things that we can help with. Sugar, again, in Guinea, they're spending $250 million annually for sugar. And her large fight with stakeholders is finding enough of these resources to get them over there. So I just wanted to put that out there. And if anybody needs to contact the ambassador, you can reach us at africanlink.com. And we will make sure that she is aware of everything that's going on. But I'm excited, Brother Clam and Doc, for us all coming together to help the ambassador with her vision. And God is great with what he's doing. And I'm just so grateful that the opportunity here today is to be God is entrusting us with his kingdom people, with his kingdom resources to build his kingdom. So our mission,
Wow.
first and foremost, before we check out of here, is to always seek the lost, to teach the found, and make disciples. And I'm just so blessed in being part of your establishment, Miss Olivia, Madam.
Madam Olivia. Hey, this has been an absolute fantastic show. Hey, Doc, I said we do it again in a couple of weeks
I
because
say
we
so.
got to
So
get
we
trained
have to.
anyway. You know, so I said this is such fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show, Doc. Clem, Ambassador, come on now. We got to have you back. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. See you.